Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dominions 5. I am, of course, General Confusion, and today we are going to start our Phlegra campaign, the middle-aged deformed giants descendant of Mekone. However, before we start the actual game, there's one thing that I forgot to mention about Phlegra that's actually really important, although it doesn't maybe seem like it right at the start. Let's look at Phlegra first. So, the Phlegran Tyrant can only be recruited in the capital, very powerful mage, decent paths. The air randoms are excellent thugs because they can use some air buffs on themselves. However, here's the interesting thing. Tyrants can round up locals and force them to take up arms and fight for Phlegra. What this means is Phlegran Tyrants have a capture slaves action, which most commanders, of course, do not have. And that capture slaves action, Mictlan has a similar action that their low-level mages can use. And that action generates slaves, which are weak, low morale, defenseless, utterly crappy chaff units. The Phlegran capture slaves action does not generate weak, totally useless slave units. It generates Helut warriors. Now, Helut warriors aren't great. They're like independent level troops, almost. But they have javelins, which are quite useful, and they have axes, which have high damage. They also have full armor. It's not great armor, but it is 3 pieces of armor, which means that they can be buffed very effectively. Strength buffs increase the range and damage of their javelins. Armor buffs increase their protection, like Legions of Steel increases their protection to 12, which is fairly respectable. So, Helut warriors are pretty useful units. They're very cheap to recruit. They do take 10 resources, but the tyrants can generate them for free, and they generate a lot of them. One tyrant capturing slaves generates at least 10 per turn. The smallest number I've ever seen is 10 per turn. Which means that actually, Phlegra has this interesting strategic kind of option where it doesn't hardly have to recruit troops. Like the Giganti warriors, they're expensive in gold. They're gold expensive. But you don't hardly have to recruit Heluts. I mean, you can recruit Heluts, and if you're recruiting Heluts and you have a tyrant capturing slaves in the province at the same time, you end up with a lot of Heluts very, very quickly. It's easy to expand just with armies of Heluts. You don't even need to bother with Giganti warriors. Now, in a multiplayer game, you probably want Giganti warriors later on, but early on for the expansion phase, I don't think I'll even bother with them. So, we're going to create a world. It will be a random map. Medium size. This will be Phlegra. We're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have 6 players, and we'll kick the difficulty up just a little bit. There we go. And we are going to be Phlegra the Deformed Giants. So we're going to load a Pretender God, Archliche Confusion. I've been testing with an Awake Expander, a Drakon. It works pretty well. But overall, I think I like scales better, so we're going to go with a Demi-Lich. We'll turn on minor story events and score graphs. We will allow renaming. If anyone would like to be a giant, I'd be happy to rename somebody. And let's leave random events at rare for now. Leave everything else standard. Oh, wait, never mind. Gotta go back. Hold on. Okay, so here we are back again. I forgot to set the Thrones of Ascension. So, we are going to enable the Cataclysm, just for fun, just to limit turns. We're going to make the turn limit, let's say, this is a fairly small game. Let's make it, like, 60? Maybe 70? Let's go with 60. Let's make it 60. For Ascension points, right now we have 6 level 1 thrones. I'm going to make it, let's go with 9 level 1 thrones, so they won't have a huge effect on the game each, and will require 6 points in order to win, so you can have 3 uncaptured. Okay, now let's generate our game. Alright, spring in year 0 of the Ascension Wars, welcome to Phlegra. So you can see our map here, nice little north-south continent. Yeah, one big landmass surrounded by oceans again, very common for the random map generator to create that. So, here in Phlegra, you can see we begin with a Trophimos Commander, who is a Taskmaster +2, and a Cyclops Chieftain. And this is because, as I've mentioned, we have no scouts. So we just start with 2 commanders, which is okay. That's fine. You can look at my scales here. I have taken 3 order, 3 productivity, 1 heat, 3 growth, 3 luck, and 3 magic. And I have a dominion score of, I believe, 5. Archliche Confusion, King of the Dead, the Shadow Overall, Gatherer of the Dead, Patron of Farmers, interestingly. My only magic is 6 death. And I have Celeria, Man, Tianxi, Vanheim, and Ashdod. Of these, Ashdod is certainly the most dangerous, because Ashdod has the Anakites, which are super, super powerful and super dangerous sacreds. Child Feaster, the Brilliant One in the Sky, King of Four Winds, the Far Traveler. So I think he's a blood guy. He's got Adons, which are like slightly weaker Melkarts with no blood magic. Zamzumites, which have death. I guess he must probably have death rather than blood, because I forgot, Ashdod doesn't actually have any blood. Emites, Kohens with almost no magic. Okay. Yeah, the Sheshai and Ahiman Anakites are very, very dangerous, especially the Ahimans, because they have 19 protection, which makes them very tough, and are sacred and can be blessed. The Sheshais have less protection, but do berserk, and they still have the Anakite swords and all. So, you know, dangerous. In any case, so I mentioned that Tyrant slave-catching ability, right? I'm going to start off by recruiting a Tyrant. I'm not even going to recruit any research mages first off. My first 2 turns are going to a Phlegran Tyrant. And then we're going to spam out as many helots as we can. We're not even recruiting giants. Deporos here is going to become the Prophet, and Mimos is going to do nothing. He's just going to patrol for now. Basically, those Cyclops commanders are pretty worthless, and I don't care about them. So, we've got a Prophet in Man, a Prophet in Ashdod, a Riphite commander, and of course, a proclamation from Phlegra. So, we're going to get all these guys into one big mass, and basically, with these troops, I don't really care that much what happens with them. I'm going to set them in a line, have them attack closest, and we're going to have him cast spells. So, we've got Wolf Tribe over there, Lion Tribe, and Woodsman Blowpipes. Excellent. We have excellent expansion right around us. We want to get over here and take these places quickly. So, Deporos, head in... Oh, we can't actually go there because there's a river that I can't see because of the border. Okay, so river there. So we've got these 3 options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Deporos down here and up here, and then my second expansion army will go in this direction. Still recruiting as many Helot warriors as we can. And pretty soon we'll get our Phlegran Tyrant as well. Next turn we'll have that Phlegran Tyrant. We'll set him to recruiting slaves. Mimos might as well come along. Maybe he'll die, maybe he'll accomplish something, who knows. He's a Taskmaster +1, I guess, but he's still terrible at leading slaves. Okay, battle in Dubros. Let's watch it. So, you can see here I've got my Helot soldiers in the middle. Helot soldiers aren't bad. They only have 13 protection, though, so they're not exactly hoplites. They're not, like the old Helot hoplites that Mekone had. These are pale shadows of those guys. And their skills and damage are fairly unimpressive. They don't even have Formation Fighter, actually. So overall, the Helot warriors are much more cost-effective because they're much cheaper. Here you can see we've got these Lion warriors coming in. The Helot warriors are going to throw their javelins. Their javelins don't do much against Lion Clan because Lion Clan have big spears, but as you can see, they actually do a lot of damage when they hit. With those axes, they inflict casualties very, very rapidly. So we've already routed the Lion Clan warriors, then we're going to charge into the archers and finish them off as well. So, very, very much not bad. We did lose 7 Helot warriors and 1 Helot soldier, but really we don't care about that kind of attrition. In Dubros, we lost money, which is, just typical. So, Prothus is going to capture slaves. So, take note of the numbers. Right now, we are going to start recruiting. Actually, what we need to do is we need to recruit a couple of Trophimos commanders. So, right now, we have 12 units in the garrison. We're going to recruit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we should have 22 from recruitment next turn. Let's see how many we actually have. That is 80 Wolf Tribe. Can't deal with 80 Wolf Tribe. So, Lion Tribe also have javelins, but stat-wise they are far inferior to Heelot warriors. So we're going to get 3 more Heelot warriors here, and Deparos can just search for holy sites. Why don't you? So remember, next turn after recruitment we should have 22 Heelot warriors. No holy sites, not surprising. So we actually have 34. So we gained 12 free infantry by having him capture slaves. And he can do that forever. So we can take those 34 Helots, give them to Menestheus. We don't even need to script them. He's just going to hold and stay behind troops. That's going to be the basic script for these guys. And so Menestheus can now go and take provinces. I mean, 34 Helot warriors throwing javelins are actually a reasonably effective expansion force. You can see he only has 23, and 23 is not enough to take on that many wolf tribe. I could probably take on this province. 90 woodsmen, blowpipes, and vinemen might also be a little too many. So let's go this way. Let's take on these wolf tribe. We'll get more Helots down here, like a lot more. We might want to mix in a few Gigantes, so let's send Mimos back. And we can get our 3 Gigantes for the turn. We can only recruit 3 per turn, no matter what. Let's recruit a mage. We'll recruit a Trophimos Oppressor. If we really wanted to be super all-in on this strategy, what we would do is we would recruit another Tyrant and have both of them capturing slaves, because you can see with Order 3 and our 25 province defense, we're not building up unrest at all, and we are getting significant income. But, so Deparos is going to spend another turn recruiting a few more Helots to bolster his army. We'll go that way, we'll come back here, grab all these Helots and Giants, combine on Ogden Mercs. Yeah, I know 2 commanders are doing nothing, that's fine. Okay, so in Griffa, let's see how this went. So we've got our big block formation. We can set them into a line, which is honestly more efficient, and I should have done that probably. But they're going to come in, throw their javelins, do quite a bit of damage with the javelins, and then move in and just kind of finish these guys off. That barbarian chief is going around us, which is a little unfortunate, because Trophimos commanders are not terribly impressive in melee. Please don't kill my Trophimos commander. Like, this battle is going really well, but if this one goes badly, it doesn't matter. He can't hit me, apparently. He's got attack 12 versus my defense 12, but he can't hit me. Interesting. Oh, just hold him off. Just keep holding him off. 1 hit and you're dead with that greatsword. Oh, he lived. I lost an arm. Menestheus lost an arm, and they're routed. Whew. Just in time. Menestheus has a 3rd eye. Increased precision and magic resistance. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's set these guys into a line. So you can see we do take casualties doing this. I mean, I lost 9 Helot warriors just then, but we're recruiting so much, it barely matters. Set them in a line. Get these guys in the middle of the line. You all just hold back. So you go in there, you're going there. We've got a merman village here, which is cool. We could attack underwater, take some underwater provinces. Down here, we've got 26 units. Yeah, let's combine up again. Up here, we're recruiting another Trophimos Oppressor. We can stop recruiting Giants because we can't effectively bring them along. Get another pair of Trophimos Commanders. And then we will recruit another Mage or 2. Obviously, research is not our strong point with this strategy. We are barely bothering with research. This is actually the first term we've had any research. But our treasury is actually extremely healthy. I mean, it's only turn 5. We've already got 500 in the bank. Our expansion has been slowed a little bit because we did have these big armies around. But, yeah, we're going to wipe this out without too much trouble, especially with the Gigantes. Actually, to be honest, Deparos probably doesn't even need to attend. These 2 can take that on. And then Deparos 26. Wait one more turn. Yeah, wait one more turn. research-wise, there's a couple... I'm not sure what exactly Phlegra wants to research first. Enchantment would be good to get up to Strength of Giants. Construction would also be good to get up to Legions of Steel and start forging items to thug out your, or to turn into super combatants, your tyrants. However, Alteration is probably honestly the best to start off with, because with Alteration you can get to Earth Meld quickly, and you can get the Earth buffs as well as Mirror Image for your tyrants. So I think we're going to go Alteration level 3, which would give us Iron Skin and some air spells and such. We could go all the way up to 4. That would give us Temper Flesh and Curse of Stones, as well as Arouse Hunger, which could at some point be useful. Yeah, let's go Alteration 4, and then let's go Construction 4. Okay, so Celeria has finally declared a prophet, and there was a battle in Ogden Mercs. So we've got a nice big fat double line of javelin throwers with a couple giants at the front. So there go the javelins. The giants are berserking. So this is the nice thing about Gigantes. They berserk, and when they berserk, their protection is high, and their attack skill is pretty good. Plus, of course, their damage is always high. So even when they're surrounded like this, they don't take much damage, and with their affliction resistance, they only have like a third the normal chance of getting afflictions from injuries. So you can see here, with the giants holding the center especially, our Helots can just curl the flanks and chew these guys up with no problem whatsoever. It is useful to have a few giants, don't get me wrong. I just don't want to bother with having to command them, to be honest. With the Cyclops chieftains are... ugh. So, we've taken Ogden Mercs. Let's send Deporos down this way with his troops. There's an ancient temple there, which is giving us a death gem. That's nice. We've got 25 more Helots there. Let's spend one more turn building up, and then we'll send out yet another expansion party. Your expansion starts almost kind of slow doing this, but it really picks up speed. Like, it's turn 6 and we only have 4 provinces. But we're now starting to get to the point where I can fairly reliably take a couple provinces a turn. Like, Menestos can go down there to help with that. These two can take either of these provinces. Even Cataphracts are not threatening to me because I have the Gigantes. And a couple of Gigantes absolutely destroy heavy cavalry. They really screw them up. So now I can take both of those provinces. That province is going to have to wait a little bit just because it has a lot of units and I need to match them in numbers. I may as well... yeah, I should probably recruit a Cyclops, get my 3 giants. I already have 2 Trophimos commanders sitting here, so we'll recruit another Oppressor for research and eventual site searching purposes. And yeah, those 2 are just going to do nothing for this turn. So, battle in Nashen. 6 Cataphracts, all dead. All these light cavalry and everything dead. The Cataphracts got 0 kills. Presumably they ran into the Gigantes. We did lose 7 of our Helot warriors, but, I mean, this is a pretty sturdy independent province that we just wiped out. And in Amiradon, we wiped out relatively light defenses with only 1 casualty. And Mimos now has heroic battle prowess. So, down here, we will recruit a commander. 69 recruitment points. Oh, 104 recruitment points, excuse me. Yeah, we'll recruit the commander and send him back to there. We're going to move all of those units into Deporos. Menesthius will move back here. We'll continue recruiting a commander anyway. This has 71 recruitment points, so let's recruit a mounted commander over there. Especially because once we get it some resources, it should also be able to recruit Cataphracts. And then these 2 will take that province. Deporos will take that province. Up here, we've got 50 Helots that will... yeah, let's take a double line. We'll just give all these guys their hold orders right now. So Polybos will move down that way, and then he'll go over there to take Akesta, which I think he should be able to do. We're going to recruit a Cyclops chieftain. And another Trophimos commander, I think. No, don't do that, actually, because I want the resources. We'll recruit a Trophimos oppressor next. Since I have 2 points to spend, let's recruit 2 Cyclops Chieftains. They take 7 resources. Well, then actually, instead of Chieftains, tell you what. I only am using these guys to lead Gigantes, so the Taskmaster doesn't matter. So instead, let's recruit a Shepherd Shaman, who is also a mage. A weak one, but a mage. Okay. So yeah, let's do that. So we're going to get our fort started here in Dubros next turn. I don't really care about resources, so the recruitment points and the income are much more important. I should also drop a few points of province defense everywhere. Probably just 1 in most places. I'm going to have another fort over here. We're starting our forts at, yeah, about the right time, I think. They won't be done by the end of the year, but I will have 2 forts rolling by the end of the year. Because, if you notice, our upkeep is fairly low, and our income is growing pretty quickly because the only things we're recruiting that have high upkeep are the Gigante warriors, which have, where is it, 52 gold per year, which is expensive for units, but we only need a few of them. Like, after this turn, I'll probably stop recruiting Gigante warriors for a while. Peleos, yes, you are doing nothing, and that's fine. Okay, so we've hit level 2 alteration, finally. In Pavonia, see how we did. Relatively small army, but relatively crappy opposition. So the Giants are going to rush in ahead of everybody. The Helots throw their javelins and then go into melee. The Giants, despite taking damage, still have no afflictions because of that affliction resistance. And as they gain experience, they only get better. So there we go. Another easy win. No casualties that time because the Gigantes occupied so much of the enemy's attention. And here we have a big old line of Helots. Now, we do have war elephants, unfortunately. So, hopefully the javelins can deal with the war elephants. If not, we may have some trouble. Well, I'm not throwing javelins for some reason. Hopefully the axes can deal with the war elephants then. Yep, the axes are dealing with the war elephants, as are the syllables of death. Okay. Well, for some reason we didn't throw our javelins, but that's okay, I suppose. We still won. I feel like throwing the javelins would have been more effective, but, you know, tactics, I guess. We took disproportionate casualties because of those war elephants, but that's fine. We still took the province. That's a river going down that way. That's Bone Tribe. Bone Tribe are pretty dangerous, actually. So, up here, you are going to build a giant palisades. Next turn, you will start building a giant palisades as well. You two take that province. We're now going to stop recruiting Gigantes and recruit solely Helots. So, Helots go to Peleos. Gigantes go to Nautes. And Nautes can just cast spells. These guys also have a Summon Allies ability. It summons 2 giant sheep, which are chaff that also give you a couple points of free upkeep, a couple supply points each. I think it's 3 supply each. So, they're not worthless, but they're not great either. All of you guys, 58 of you. Polybos, I think you can take on 80 Wolf Tribe. Let's go across that way. Depolos. I could recruit an elephant here, which would be an interesting addition to the army. Yeah, let's recruit an elephant. Can't recruit 2 elephants, so let's recruit an elephant and a Helot. We'll wait 1 turn, and then we'll go after the Beast Tribe with our elephant-reinforced army. 3 commanders are doing nothing. You're doing nothing, that's fine. You're also doing nothing. You can just search for magic sites, why don't you? And you... yeah. Okay, so, Akesta. We lost a bunch of Helots, but we won. In Forbidden Forest, we lost only 1 Helot, and we won. In Pazux, we got some province income and defense. And, oh, we got our national hero. Zakynthos has lightning reflexes, incidentally, but we got Phlegius the Theurg Tyrant. And Phlegius the Theurg Tyrant is an excellent, excellent national hero, both because he has the Communion Master feature that all of the oppressors have, but also because he breaks us into astral. He has 3 astral naturally. He's also a good researcher. We're going to have him research, first of all. That's all I need him to do right at the moment. It is cold. This place isn't cold, so I can't cross the river, right? Yeah, I can't cross the river. Over here, we're going to start building our second giant palisades. So it's early winter. This palisades will be done in spring, early spring, and this palisades will be done in spring next year. So Deporos, just mix those troops in. Actually, have the elephant, because the elephant is a good bit faster. So have the elephant in a second group that will be behind them. Go down here, see if you can take on those bone... Actually, take on these guys. Longbowmen and knights? Yeah, I think you can take them. Over here, Zakynthos with his lightning reflexes. And his giants should take on... Ooh, Amazons. Amazon provinces are good. Yeah, let's take on the Amazons. And up here, we've got another 30 minions. So we'll recruit a Trophimos commander. And keep on a-rolling. That would cost 115 gold. Instead, let's recruit a shackled mage. They're very, very efficient and cheap researchers. So yeah, you're crossing the river. You guys take on that Lion Tribe province. We'll cross over here. Probably we'll be able to take this pretty easily. But even if not, I think we'll do a decent job. I need to check to see if I can recruit any scouts, because not having native scouts is actually kind of a crippling downside. It means I can't see anything that's happening until I recruit some scouts from somewhere. And as of yet, I don't seem to have any provinces where I can recruit scouts. So that's a bummer. Topagog, move down here. We'll also build a fort here, if we can. Should get us some decent resources. Well, I may push the next fort up to Oaklands or Deep Forest. I'll, of course, want to fort here and here once I take the thrones. But, yeah. Expansion going respectably, and you can see it's now accelerated. We're taking 2 or 3 provinces a turn at this point, just because we have so many independent armies. Alright, in Nilmeria, only 1 casualty wiped out the Lion Tribe. See, Helot warriors are definitely good enough to beat up on weak independents with very, very few casualties. Down here, interesting, I took only 4 casualties in this battle. I want to watch that one, because I almost expected that the knights would do a lot more damage. Maybe we actually threw the javelins this time, because javelins, of course, don't care about defense skill. They only care about parry and protection. Now, with 18 protection, javelins are not going to do a whole lot against knights, but they might have done something. No, they're not throwing the javelins. So the knights get their charge in, and then the elephant comes in to trample them. And against militia, Helot warriors do very, very well. So yeah, that's just how it went down. The knights were trampled out by the elephant. And then these knight commanders, those knights are routing? Oh, they're bodyguards to that priest who was routing. Okay, yep, there we go, we got it. In Helmshire, that was Helmshire that we just watched. So Numeria, Helmshire, and then Oaklands. We lost a Gigante warrior for the first time because these Jade Maidens are quite powerful, and we had a Jade Sorceress and a Jade Priestess. Retreat details, it looks like our Helot warriors did retreat. So only the Gigantes stuck it out because they were berserking. Amazon provinces are tough to take, but having an Amazon province, I'll put a fort here, and a lab and a temple, and they'll be able to get some work done. The javelins are not terribly effective because Amazons have shields and decent protection. They're significantly better than Helot warriors. So you can see the Gigantes, they're getting entangled by my... I think they're getting entangled by their own mages, actually. And they're just not doing damage to these Gigantes very quickly. I mean, they're doing damage, but not fast. I'm really worried about my Cyclops Chieftain being in the front lines, but hey, you know, whatever works, I guess. And that's going to be the end of it, pretty much. Yep, the Gigantes pulled it out. And in the Oaklands, ooh, we got some water gems, too. So, in the Oaklands, we're building forts. That should be done very soon. That should be done soon. We're going to take... Yeah, Zakynthos is going to start building a fort here. That leaves us 80 gold. We'll start spamming out some more helots down here. This army will take militia and heavy cavalry, 50 of them. And this is 43 helots. These two armies will both take this province. Form a line. These 6 behind there. Form a line. Okay, so we've got a double line of helots. And then the 6 giants coming in behind them. Yeah, they should be able to take that. And that's 50 barbarians. Helots are actually very good against barbarians, but Deparos I don't think wants to take on 50 with only 30 units, so we'll move up there as well. Drop a point of defense everywhere, just to keep the AI from scout capping my provinces. And it's time to start moving some mages out. So we're going to move our mages towards the places where we are building forts, so that we can build labs there as well. I don't need temples pretty much anywhere because I don't have sacreds. This is one place where I might want a temple just so I can recruit Jade Maidens. But honestly, I can get Jade Sorceresses with just a lab, and Jade Priestesses are not terribly important, except to bless Jade Maidens if I decide to take Jade Maidens. My Bless, I did take a Bless, of course, but my Bless is just... It's only 6 death is all the magic I took on my Pretender, so my Blessing is, I think it's 3 death and 3 undying. Undying plus 6 and undead leadership plus 60. So priests can lead a whole bunch of undead if I ever raise a whole bunch of undead, but I didn't really have much that was important to do with my Bless because I have no sacred troops. So there we've got 60 more helots. That's more than a sufficient expansion party. And we will send them out with Democritus. Let's have them move this way. We can cross that frozen river now. And we'll swing north with them. I'd like to put a fort probably here. It's got decent recruitment points and decent resources. Or actually, I'll just put it there because that's where the throne is. But yeah, so this is kind of what expansion is like with Phlegra. That army is now used up more or less. So Mimos can start trekking back. I'm gonna actually drop these guys here since we are gonna have a fort. Mimos can move back to the capital, and at some point here I'll recruit a few more Giganti warriors for him to take. You may notice I have not recruited any Cyclops. That's because they're terrible. What with being undisciplined and low attack and low protection and all, they're just they're just not worth it. Who's doing nothing? Asopos is doing nothing, and so is Topagog. Okay, Topagog, move down there to where the fort's going to be. So, a new famous hero, because we've got so many commanders moving around, a lot of them are becoming heroes. In Bogaton, we lost. Why did we lose? I felt like we should have had that in the bag. Because what have they got? They've got a lot of heavy infantry, and then a few archers, so I think the heavy infantry probably just outlasted the helots. Because we don't have all that much infantry. Oh, and we got the elephant trapped behind the infantry, so it wasn't trampling. Well, the elephant did a lot of good damage. Why are the armies of Phlegra routed? And I still have my profit. Okay, well, I guess the armies of Phlegra are routed. We must have just taken enough damage to force an HP rout or something without actually taking casualties. So, Deparos got back with the elephant and all. I think so. And in Tiradir. Let's look at Tiradir too. Here, I don't think we probably had any problems. I mean, they do have some heavy cavalry, but those heavy cavalry are going to bog down hardcore in this many helots. And the giants are apparently going to run straight back and stab their commanders to death. which is pretty good. Yeah, the heavy cavalry just got swarmed under by all those axes. The high damage hits from those axes, they are inaccurate. Oh, never healing wound. So sad. But with that high damage of 18, they're pretty solid at dealing with high protection enemies. So in Tiradir, I lost 6 helots, which I don't care about. And we're all good. Wait, what was that unexpected event in Nomeria? Oh, unrest. Faith has decreased and unrest is rising. We've got 36 more helots already because our helot production is through the roof. Let's get some more Gigantes. We don't need 2 more of those guys. We could maybe use 1. Stop recruiting a Shackled Mage. Let's get 1 of those and start on a Trophimos Sage. So it is late winter. Next turn will be the beginning of a new year. We're still recruiting helots here as well, just for funsies. Down here, we've got relatively few troops remaining, but honestly, we can take that province. Just take it. Just take it. That is 200 units commanded by a lore master, so I don't want to take that on just yet. But I do want to combine these guys into one double line. Let's get the giants in the middle, so that you two can go take that province. Yeah, and then you can move back to the capital, I guess. Democritus is coming up behind you with another 60 helots. Great. So we're going to take 2 provinces this turn unless something goes terribly, direly wrong. Research-wise, we're only just now going to be hitting Alteration 3, and it's still going to take us 2 turns. So, like, our research is god-awful, which is fine, because we already have 2 forts building, and we have 600 gold extra. So we could start building a 3rd fort now, if we wanted to. In fact, I could do that. I could just have Pylios, yeah, let's just start building a 3rd fort. There's no reason not to. Asopos is defending, you're building. Oh, you need to keep moving. Move over there so you can build a lab when his fort finishes. You're defending. You... Actually, instead of starting the 3rd fort right now, we'll just have you patrol for the moment because we're going to build a lab there. Okay, so in Spring Bay, we lost 1 Helot warrior to wipe out the defenders. In Bogatan, we had no casualties wiping out the defenders. We finished our giant palisades in Dubros, and patrolling troops in Tiradir have killed a filthy brigand. So, at the end of year 1, let's take stock of where we are. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 provinces. That's respectable. It's not the very fastest I've ever heard of, certainly, but it's respectable. In terms of... Let's look at the score graphs. In terms of provinces, here's Phlegra. We are way out ahead of the AI. In a multiplayer game, we'd be probably ahead of the average. In terms of forts, we are the first one to have built a new fort. In terms of income, we're way up at the top. In terms of gem income, we're not, because we haven't found many gems, we haven't been site searching yet. In terms of research, we're actually middle of the pack, which is weird. That's weird. That shouldn't be so. In a multiplayer game, definitely wouldn't be so. Dominion is fairly low. Army size is up there. Not as high as Solaria's, but up there. And Ascension points, of course, is still even. But in my opinion, we're doing very, very solidly. We've got a 2nd mage production facility. This mage production facility is going to be pumping out shackled mages forever. We're going to upgrade it to a giant fortress. Actually, I'll tell you what. There's probably... I don't want to recruit Gigante warriors here. I just want to spam helots. I can only recruit a shackled mage every other turn because I don't have... Well, let's keep recruiting helots. Over here, instead of commanders, we're going to recruit another titan at this point. And that titan will move down here and start slave hunting in this province. And basically every single tyrant that's capturing slaves is another fort's worth of production. I mean, if you look down here, I'm producing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 helots. Well, he's producing an average of 12 or 13 helots. This fort is producing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 helots. So, yeah, every single tyrant is a fort's worth, on average, of helot production. And that is pretty huge. We're going to search for magic sites while we're here. Just search for sites. And, yeah, we used up a bunch of our money starting that tyrant. So we can't start a lab again yet. Honestly, that's 180... I don't know how many mages they have is the problem, so I don't really want to go attack them. Because they may have, like, a doom stack of mages. This guy can move up there. So we've run into Vanheim and Celeria now. But honestly, this is a very solid start. I mean, even in a multiplayer game, you would not be ashamed of this start. This start is pretty decent. This army, is that guy taking any afflictions or anything? No? Honestly, I'm just going to recruit a few more helots down here, or even some militia maybe? They're not slaves, so they don't get the bonus. Yeah, just get a few more helots, and then we can go take Shade Forest as well. This is respectable. I would be okay with this. We're going to take those 67 units, give them to Aspos, set them up in a double line, and Asopos can now start heading down this way, so he can start expanding in this direction. So our expansion has been not impossibly fast, not even terribly unusually fast, but very, very steady, and in the process we've built up a pretty significant force, to be honest. I mean, we've got an army of 64 there, an army of 60 there, an army of 60 here, and these guys that we're recruiting. So we've got about 200 moderately respectable infantry. Our research is bad, but it's going to be going up very, very quickly once we get this fortress and this fortress all churning out mages. We'll get a third fortress pretty quickly here. Like, yeah, probably Tiradir is a better place for it. Well, actually, I don't know. Spring Bay can draw resources from Tiradir. It can also draw resources from White Harbor. And it's got a lot of recruitment points. Not that Helot Warriors take any recruitment points, so that's kind of pointless. But a fort here would also increase the income. So yeah, I'm going to recruit an independent commander there. These guys, I might actually just go straight to war with Vanheim. We'll hold off on it for now. With 6 Gigantes, we might be able to take on a huge mass of infantry there. We'd lose all of our helots, though. Although I do have 120. Actually, I'm going to go one more turn just because I want to see if this... Oh, there's a river there. Never mind. Oh, darn. I have to be boring. I can't do the thing I wanted to do. I wanted to see if 120 helots and 6 giants could take on approximately 200 random low-quality troops here. And whatever minor mage support they have. That would be interesting to see. There's also a river there, so I can't cross that way. So Deparos is going to move down here. And you know what? Let's also set up to build another fortress in Helmshire. Knight Commander, because yeah, we could produce knights here. And knights are pretty solid. Got decent recruitment points. Resources will leave something to be desired. But tell you what, don't recruit a Knight Commander. You can't even recruit helots here because you don't have any resources yet. Okay. Just keep doing what you're doing there. Got a few retreated helots. You will end up with helots scattered all over the place as they retreat because their morale is crap. But you can deal with that. That's not really a problem. And this kind of strategy where you're relying entirely on these helots, which are very, very cheap units, gets you a whole lot of income with relatively little upkeep very early in the game. It's actually surprising to me because I have not typically played, like most of the nations that I've played are not terribly high income. So when I look at like turn 12, already have 1500 income and I'm only paying 200 in upkeep, I'm like, wow, that's really effective. But in any case, this has been year 1 of the Giants, Phlegra, the Deformed. We've already got one of our big mages out, and he's doing nothing but just spawning chaff, which seems weird, but it's kind of how this nation works. Like, really, the chaff spawn is what you want those guys for. I mean, later on in the game, once you can equip them, they will be pretty fearsome super combatants, and they will always be high-quality battle mages because they can have high-level fire and high-level earth. Like, 3 earth native is very solid. They can even have 2 death, so they can be reasonably powerful death mages, but it's the earth that really makes them powerful. The fire is nice, and the death is good, better than the fire, but the earth is what makes them. So in any case, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, where Phlegra's relentless expansion will continue. This, our capital, is very quickly going to transition into producing almost exclusively tyrants and elder cyclops. The elder cyclops for the forging, and the tyrants for, I mean, mainly chaff production at this point. At some point soon, I'll start leading armies with tyrants, once we get our research really going. But it'll take a while. These shackled mages are efficient researchers, but they're not fast researchers. So, we'll see how things go. It'll be interesting. I like Phlegra's early game. I really do. And I think unlike Mekone, Phlegra is going to have a pretty solid mid-game as well, because they have all of this chaff available. I mean, if you have, let's say, 4 or 5 tyrants rolling around, which is a big investment, but just bear with me. 4 or 5 tyrants rolling around. That squadron can land on an enemy province, crush it, and then immediately spawn more chaff to replace whatever their army has lost. It only takes 1 turn to reinforce a Phlegran army with tyrants in it, because they can just snap their fingers and have more troops at a moment's notice anywhere. In fact, late game, your strategy might be have a big old posse of buffed up, equipped, armed to the gills tyrants that are really hard to kill. And in battle, they provide battle magic and buffs, mainly buffs from their earth magic. And outside of battle, they can just spawn armies. I mean, literally spawn armies. Every tyrant, I have to say this again, every single tyrant is a fort in terms of infantry production. Like right now, I don't have 2 forts, I have 3 forts active producing infantry at this moment. And next turn, I'll have 4, and the turn after that, I'll have 5, because I'll produce another tyrant. Every tyrant is a fort. You can also use them for site searching, you can use them for all kinds of cool things, but primarily, they're a fort. So in any case, as I've said a couple times already now, I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy. Hope it gives you some ideas as well. Take care.